Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time once again with Sudoku Sleuth. And you can see today, well, I'm hoping this is going to be representative of the plan for today, which is Sleuth Walks in the Park. And today I'm recording from next to Lake Essio. So if I look to my left, I think the camera will do it justice if I'm honest. I've got the lake just outside and hopefully we'll go for a walk, as I said, with the dogs around sunset when it's a bit cooler for them. It is still, unfortunately, quite warm for them. But who's to complain? We've got a beautiful summer and no rain, so we're going to make the best of it for sure. Well, enough of that distraction. Let's take a look at what the puzzle is for today. And what do we have? It's A Walk in the Park by Scruffamudda. And I apologize to the creator if I'm really mispronouncing it. So this is quite an interesting one. I'm hoping that it is a walk in the park as opposed to a challenge that's going to delay my walk. Otherwise, what will most likely have to happen is I'll just pause the recording, walk the dogs, and then come back again and continue this. And obviously, I'll be totally lost when I come back to it. But let's take a look at what we have here today. So we've got normal Sudoku rules applies. So that means the digits 1 through to 9 in every row, every column, and every box. Clearly, I'm just going to say clearly, not that cell over here. We have adjacent digits on green lines must differ by at least 5. You've seen these on the channels very often referred to as German whispers, where essentially, if this is a 2, for example, then the next one has to be 5 or higher, so that would be 7, 8, or 9. 7 would be totally valid, but 6 wouldn't be because it's only 4 away. We also have digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, and we have many of them in today's puzzle. Quite a lot throughout, and you'll often see them, or me and other puzzles, referring to these as Kropki dots. But that's all the rules we have for today in today's puzzle. Well, I hope it's sufficient, because regular viewers of this channel would know that we are often solving Sudoku variant puzzles. And with these additional constraints, only 2 additional constraints, mind you, today, the green lines, the German whispers, and the black dots, the Kropki dots, we should be able to complete a grid that is completely devoid of any digits whatsoever. So Scruffamudda has determined that this is more than enough clues to completely solve this. I really do hope it is a walk in the park. If you want to play along, there'll be a link in the description down below as usual. And with that said, let me restart the clock here and see how we get on. Alrighty. So I'm looking at box 1 here. And the reason I'm looking at it is if you take a look at all of these cells are on black Kropki dots. And there are 3 digits that are not. But if you think about the requirement of a black dot as in a ratio of 1 to 2, there are 3 digits, I'm actually going to pencil mark in here, that cannot be on a black Kropki dot. And for the simple reason that if you try and place a 5 in here, it's either a 2.5, not possible under today's rules, or a 10, also not possible. Same goes with 7, it's either 3.5 or 14, and 9 is either 18 or 4.5, all of which are not possible. So you can immediately see that these 3 digits have to be on the non-black Kropki dot cells in this grid. And in fact, we can go a step further. That's not a 5, otherwise that would be a 0 or a 10 to be 5 away, neither of which is possible in today's puzzle. So we have a bit of a start already, at least we know for a change, because you'll often see on German whispers that you don't necessarily know where the high digits are and the low digits. And I didn't explain that in the introduction, but because it's 5 away, essentially you're oscillating between different polarities, a large digit, which means it's 6, 7, 8, or 9, and a low digit, which is 1, 2, 3, or 4 to be 5 away. Note, it doesn't include a 5 because of the 0 and 10 that I mentioned earlier. So this is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. I feel like I can take this a step further here. So let's talk about these black Kropki dots for a second. So we have three of them in the same box, and I think that's quite significant. Because I'm going to just write them out here in box 5. You could have a 1, 2 pair. You can obviously have 2 and 4. You could have 4 and 8. And you can have 3 and 6. So you can see there's a total of 4, but you can see the 2 and the 4 are essentially repeated here. Now, I'm going to assert that the only way I can fit all of this in there is essentially there's a 1, 2 pair, there's a 3, 6 pair, and then there's a 4, 8 pair. And clearly I don't know what the orders are, but it can only be in this setup. Let's see if I can take this further. So there's a 1, 2 pair, there's a 3, 6 pair, a 4, 8 pair. Now I want to think through this a second. I'm thinking that the 6 in particular is restricted because you've got a 3, a 6, a 1. So I'm just going to pencil this in. So if this is a 3, that's a 6, that's a 1, that's a 2. You can see immediately how this is essentially determining the entire nature of this box. And that all appears totally valid to me. So this digit actually determines all of it. But I'm also thinking, because of this 6-1 restriction, that's the 6, that's the 1. Because the 6 can only go on a German whispers line with a 1, I have the feeling that this is a lot more restricted than you may think it is. That would put a 9 in here. You couldn't put a 7 next to a 3. I'm actually going to just check that out. If this was a 4, that would be an 8. This would have to be, I think, this is the only way this could be done. So this could be the 3 with the 8. 3, yeah, that's fine. 6, 1, 2. That's also totally valid. That's a shame. Am I missing a trick here? So I said this is 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it's 1, it's 2. If it's 2, it's 1. If it's 3, it's 6. If it's 4, it's 8. Let's just go through all the options for a second. So 3, 6, we've already done that. It becomes 1, 2, 8, 4. Yeah, maybe I'm missing the obvious part here. If I put a 4 at the end, that becomes a 9. Oh, yeah, there you go. Box 2 was the clue all along. Whatever is in here, 5 away from it has to be something that can be placed on a black Kropke dot. So that's the restriction that actually help us figure out the orders of the digits in box 1. So let's think through this. So we know that this is, let's just start here. So we know that this is restricted to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. Now if this is a 6, that's a 1, that's a 2. I said that would be an 8, a 4. No, I don't think this can be a 1 because where would the 6 go? 1 always is paired with 2. The 2 can only have an 8 from the remaining options to be 5 away. 7 and 9 are gone. 6 is not 5 away. 8 and 4. Somehow this needs to be a high. It needs to be a 9. The 4 cannot be. Okay, that's another obvious restriction I missed earlier. So the 4 cannot occur in any of these, can it? Because it would require a 4 with a 9. I should say, yeah, 4 with a 9. So the 4 actually has to be here. No, that's not right again. 4 has to be here with the 9, because if I place the 4 anywhere else, it would have to force the 9 alongside it. And obviously the 9 can't be placed in here because that's a black crop key dot. And the 9 is already taken in the box. So this is the 4, this is the 8. Now we have options. This could be a 3 or a 2. If it's a 3, this is a 6, 1, 2. If it's a 2, this is a 1, 6, 3. That looks correct to me now. Now this is not a 4, this is 1, 2, or 3. I'm not going to look at box 4 just yet. Let's see what we've got here. So this is low, this has to be high. It is 7, no. 8, can only be an 8. Essentially, this has to be high digit. It's higher than 6 because the lowest this can be is a 2. And this is a black crop key dot, that's a 4. 7 and 9 are obviously not available on black crop key dots, so that's a 4. That has to be a 9, and therefore this is, well, quite a few options, 1, 2, or 3. And we have quite a few digits, although it's, goodness me, minute 8 before we've made any real breakthrough in this puzzle. It certainly doesn't feel like a walk in the park, Scruffamudda, but I am going to persist with it. So I don't think we have, similar to box 1, I don't think we have any other similarly obvious entries. It's just these 3 black crop key dots kind of dictated a lot of what we needed to pencil mark in here. So we know 4 is up here somewhere. It's clearly not in there. It could be here, so it could be 4, 9, either 2 or 8. So 4 is up here. Just going to do some simple Sudoku for the moment until I get some inspiration about what I should be. I mean, I'm clearly meant to be looking at these black crop key dots. That's the sort of the crumb trail that was sort of left by the creator here. So I'm just trying to think through. This is from 1 to, it's not 4, that's helpful, and 6. Yeah, can only be 1 and 2 as a pair or a 3-6 pair. Now, if it is a 3-6 pair, that would be 1, that would be 2, which is fine, and that would be 6. That's a 1-2 pair, that would be 6, 3, and 1, all of which is valid. Let's keep going right. So if this is a 1-2 pair, and we don't know the order of it, 6 can never be in the middle because that would require the 1-2 we've just placed after all. And the 1-2 would force a 6 in here anyway. So that would be from either 7 or 9, which is both available. A 1-2 pair would put a 3 in here, would force a 4 in there. So 7 is not an option. It would actually be a 4 and 2 or 8. I am really going quite far into this to be able to make a breakthrough. So that was the solution if it's 1-2. Now, if it's 3-6, it forces, well, there you go, it breaks. If I put a 6 in here, it places a 1 in there. What am I going to put next to the 6? So that's a 1-2 pair. That's a 6. That's a 1. Really should be able to spot some of these a little bit earlier. Now I said we need to place a low digit on here that can only be a 4. We place all the others. This can only have a 9 adjacent to it. This is from 2 and 8. We don't know which yet. And we have 5 7s again left over. Pardon me, not in here. We know these are a 1-2 pair. I don't want to go through all the options just yet in column 8. That just feels lengthy and unnecessary. There's got to be a quicker way of doing this, but let's take a look at column 1 first. So we've got 1, 2, and 3, and we've got this essentially the same logic being repeated here. So because the 4 is in column 1 already, this can only be a 1-2 pair or a 3-6 pair. And the 8 is not available either. Now, if this is a 1-2 pair, mind you, this could be a 6, because it could be 6, 1, 2, and 3 in here, and it would be totally fine, unfortunately. 7 is not available. 8 and 9 are all available. That's quite a lot of options. So if this is 3, 6, 1, 2, what's interesting is in either scenario, this digit is low, because it's either 6, 1, 2, or 1, 2, with a high here, with a black crop key dot bringing it back down to low. So this is low, this is low, this is high, and we've placed all the lows in a column. This is a 4, pardon me, this is a 4, therefore this is a 9, and we placed the 2 already, so this is an 8. This has to be low. It is from 1 and 2. 3 is not available. 4 is not far away. Besides, it's also in the box. And we need high. 8 and 9 are gone. It's one of 6 and 7. Now 2 and 3 are an option. And amazingly, we're going to end up with another 5, 7. They're just appearing everywhere today. That's not 9. Therefore, that's also not 8. I placed 8 as an option in here because, I mean, if this was a 1, 2, this could have been an 8. And then the 8 would have placed a 4 in here and a 9. I feel like I need to actually undo some of this. I may have jumped a bit, made the wrong conclusion there for a second. So I agree that this was always blue. This was always blue. I just don't think this couldn't have ever been a 9 because that's a black crop key dot, so it is 168. And therefore this could be a 4, unfortunately, because it could be a 4, 8, 1, 2 pair. This is high. And now we've actually got options. This could be from 7, 8, or 9. Now remember, if this is 6, that's a 3, and then it's a 8 or 9 is fine. 8, 4, 9 is also an option. 1, 2, 7, also an option. That is, I mean, I'm glad I've unwinded it. It's a shame that it is still so open. Presumably this is 2, 3, 4. This has to be high because we placed all the lows now. So this is indeed 8. 6 is gone. The only other high that can be on a crop key dot is the 8. So the 8 is fixed. And yeah, I guess at least we came back to the same conclusions. Even if, I mean, at least we haven't made a mistake. Now this is 1 and 2, and this is from 6 and 7. That looks all correct to me now. Now 2 and 3, I've eliminated the 4, so that's not an 8. You can see we've got kind of a 1, 2, 3, 6 quadruple. So that's a 4, 8 pair. That's the other loose 5, 7. We need a 9 in here joined with another. Yeah, still too many options. So just gonna corner pencil mark the 9 in for now and just leave it as it is. Which unfortunately means I've put off column 8 for as long as I can. I am going to have to work through this. This is Certainly not feeling like a walk in the park. So if it is a 2, this has to be high. This can only be a 7. Good with that. If it is an 8, this has to be low. It is from 1, 2, and 3. Too many options, but we'll leave them all. So 2 and 7, the 7 forces a 1 in here. If it's an 8, 1, 2, 3. So this is from 7 and 9. Can't be a 6, otherwise you'd need a double 1 on either side. This is too many. Let's go 2, 7, 1. Still can't be a 6. 2, 7, 1. So only the 7 is eliminated. Can't be a 6. It's 8 or 9 if it's high. And it's 8, 1, 2, 3 with 7 or 9. It's not 4. It is 1, 2, 3. Goodness. Too many options by the time we get here. Not sure how this is going to help us restrict it at all. Let's forget what's in the German whispers for a second. So this is from 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. Because of this black croppy dot. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 4. So chances are quite high that this is a low digit. I mean, for this to be a 6, 1. Actually cannot be. And I think this is easier illustrated. So if this is 6, this is 1. Clearly this is now low. So this is from 8 or 9. Doesn't matter what it is, because now we are left with 1 again. Because remember, we only have the 7 and then the 2. So this is low, but I just want to confirm that 7 is indeed the only option. So this is 2. We need to have, 8 and 9 are already placed. 7 is the only option. 6 is not available. So this is not 6. This is not 3. This is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, this is not 4 either, because the 9 is not available because of the German whispers 9. Therefore, that's not an 8. The 1, 2, 3 requires a 7 or 8 on here. 1, 2, or 3 in there. Not going to be able to place a 4 in the middle. In fact, can't be a 3 because the 9 is gone. The 3 has to be surrounded by an 8, 9. So that's not 3. That's 1, 2. And we're now down to 6. Only 6. This has to be high. It has to be in a black croppy dot. 8 is gone in the column. So this is actually somewhat fixed. That's high, low. No, I've made a mistake somewhere. I'm clearly a little bit tired today. If I'm really struggling with this as much as I am. Right, let's just think about the German whispers. Forget the black croppy dot for a second. The 9 being eliminated because of this digit means that we don't have 4s anywhere in here. And we don't have 3 in the middle either. Because remember, the 3 would have to be surrounded by an 8, 9 pair, and the 9 is gone. So there's no 4s, no 3s in the middle, and one of these has to be low. One of them has to be low. So there has to be another 1, 2 in here. We don't know which one it is just yet, and it will have to be surrounded by a 6 or 7. In fact, a 6, most likely. Let's think about this. So if it's 1, 2 here, then it is a 7 in here, and it's a 6, a 3. I'm gonna go through these options for a second. So 1 or 2, 6 can only go in there, 7 or 8 presumably. So this could also be an 8. It can't be an 8 because the 4 is not available up there. Just 3. The 1, 2 happens to be in this side. It becomes fairly fixed, and it's 3 is gone. That becomes 1, 2 again. Can't be a 4. We've said there is no 4s. The 9 is gone. So a lot of this ends up being very fixed. Very fixed. Now, I want to try the other approach. If the 1, 2 is in here, actually forces this to be a 1 in any scenario, because of the black crop key dot that's on the end. It's either a 6, 1, 7, 8, and then 2, 3, and that would be 1 or 6, which breaks because we've already used a 6 and 1. 2 would have to be joined with either a 4 or a 1, neither of which is available. 3 would have to be joined with a 6, neither of which is available. So in fact, this has to be a 1, a 6, 3, 2, 1. This is from 7 or 8. This cannot be a 4. We've used 1 and 3. It is a 2. And this is a 1 because 4 is not available because it's gone in the row. Now this 3 tells us a lot. So high. This has to be low. I'm going to add, no, can't be a 2 because it's up here. So high, low, low. So that's the 2, 1, 7, and 8, 9 is the flexibility step. Wow, that was anything but a walk in the park. Scruffamudda. The 1 can have many options next to it. 6, 7, 9. 1, 2 are gone. 3 and 4 are available. The 3 would have to be partnered with a 6. The 4 could be partnered with an 8, as well as a 2, it seems. Shame we don't know the polarity of this. I'm kind of surprised that after all of this, we still don't get resolution to some of these things. It's just unexpected. This 1 is gone, therefore this is not a 2. This is a 1, 6 pair. This is a 2, 3 pair, 4, 8 pair, 5, 7 pair. Goodness. This 3 finally maybe will do some work for us. 2, 3, 6, 1, 2. That is some work, just not enough. We still have 4, 5, 7, and 8 left. A lot of options again. Now this 6 tells us this is a 2, 9 in here or a 1, 2, 9 in there. Feels like we need to finish this last crumb of assistance from the creator before we can actually solve the rest of the puzzle, because even as I'm looking at Sudoku, it's just all around the periphery. For example, you know, that's a 5 now, that's a 7. It's not exactly helping us. It's forcing a 7 in here. 5 is now in there, joined with 3, 6, I'm going to say. Now we need to place 1, 3, and 6. That's not 6. This 7 tells us that's a 5. Forget the 8 for a second. We need to have a 1 in here. Therefore, this is a 3, 6, or an 8 to complete the box. And that's, again, not 6. So you see, like, it's helpful to sort of complete all of these, but it doesn't actually help us with the puzzle that much. So we are going to still have to go through this painful process of trying to figure out what this is. So the only way this could be a low is if this is a 4, 2, and a 9 in here. And the 2 would require a high. The 9 is gone. So it would be a 7 or 8. And therefore a 1 or 2 can't be 3 because that's a black crop key and the 6 is not available. The 1 would be joined with a 2. The 2 could be joined with a 4 or 1. Fortunately, all of this looks very valid. 9, 4, 2, 7 or 8. Sorry, 2. This can't be 2. This ends up being 1, and this ends up being 2 again. I'm actually going to just... So that's if it plays out that way. It could have equally played out as an 8. And therefore this is low. 1 and 2 are gone. This would be forced to a 3. And the 3 would require an 8 or a 9. Both of which are gone. Because that would be 8, 3, and then no 8 or 9 in here. So 3... So sorry, 8 is not an option, surprisingly. Now the other option was 3, 6. 6 always needs a 1. That's not an option either. So as unbelievable as that was, this is actually fixed. So 2, 9 pair. So we need a 3 with one of 5, 6, or 7. Pardon me, I just got a warning on my battery. Hopefully I can complete this video before the battery runs out. That is unexpected, but I think we're off to... We're going to finish this. Yeah, so it's just Sudoku from here on. We've got this now. What do we need to complete the column? 1, 2, so 3, 5 joined with a 6. That's a 5. That's a 3, a 5, a 6. To complete this row, we still got too many options. It's not the best use of the precious battery life we have left. The 9, 2. So what do we have? We said it's one of... Yeah, still too many options in here. I missed anything else? No. Let's take a look at this column now. So we need 1, 2, 4 has to be in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one of these two, and 7, all of which is surprisingly still available. 4, 5, 7. This column next, we need 5 down here. Therefore, this is a 7. This is 4. This is 5. We need a 5 somewhere in here, joined with one of 8 and 9 plus a 6. So that's 5, 6. That could be an 8, and that could be 8 or 9. We need a 2 in this box. It goes in here. We need a 7 with an 8, 9. That's 7 or 8. That's 7, 8, or 9. It's, again, too many options. We need 3 and 4 in here. Really isn't obvious where it is. Joint with, wow, 1 of 7, 8, or 9. No, 7 is up here. Joint with an 8 or 9. This is restricted to 3, 4. It's unfortunate this is a 1 because it leaves both options on the table still. I'm gonna... Yeah, this 5 tells us this is a 7, a 5. Therefore, this is 3, 6, 7. That's 3, 6. That's 3, 6, 7. It's not 7 either. That is the 7. 8, 4, 5, 8, 9, 8. Therefore, no 8 in here. That's a 5, 6 pair. The 9 is in there. We need a 3, 4, 8 somewhere in here. So this is 3 or 8. 3 or 8 again. That's the 4. Let's just complete this box. We should be able to, we still need to place the 3. The 4 is placed with 3. We need a 7 and 9. The 9 is placed. The 7 is here. We need to place 2 digits, which are 5 and 6 by the looks of things. Surprisingly, neither has been informed, but this is 7 as a result of that because we have 5, 6 in the row. That's not 7. Don't need the pencil, corner pencil marks. This 5, 6 tells us we need one last digit in here, which is a 3. We need a 7, 8. That's the 8. That's the 7. 5 tells us this is the 6. The 3, the 6, the 5, the 6, 5, 3, and the 8, if I've not made any other mistakes. 34 minutes. I don't know if it was meant to be an easier puzzle, and I somehow just made it look so much harder than it really is. Now, regardless, I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. It really is a lot more involved than I thought it would be, but we'll call it more like a hike in the park than a walk in the park. And I'll see you back for the next video. Bye for now.